So there's a saying that goes something like, sometimes you have to lose in order to win something again, or something like that.
इसका मतलब तुम जानबूझकर हार गए?
कुछ जीतने के लिए कुछ हारना भी पड़ता है.
And that's basically what has happened to the Honda City over these years, where it's lost a little bit of its charm with the enthusiast to appeal to a wider audience, people with families. Hello everyone, this is Bichao and welcome back to my channel. As you can see, today we are going to be talking about the new Honda City, and there is a lot to like over here. So this here is the 5th generation of the Honda City, a badge that's been around for 23 years. It was basically launched first in 1998, and back then it was more synonymous with people who were driving enthusiasts, people who liked their cars which were a little more fun to drive, had a more engaging feedback and had a punchy engine, which overall offered a more affordable fun package in a car, while at the same time being civil enough when you were with your family on normal city roads. But as we all know, a lot has changed since then. You see, enthusiasts are a very small group of people, and they are easily outnumbered by the regular kind of people who just want a car which is comfortable and can seat their family to go for normal things. And Honda kind of gave into this, where they wanted to attract the larger audience. And what that resulted in the Honda City going from a capable, fun, agile car to a more family-friendly car, where the steering became very light, the suspensions became too soft, and then it came with a CVT gearbox which kind of was so sluggish that it sort of defined the rubber band effect in a gearbox for us Indians. But then Hyundai came along with its Verna, and also Maruti came along with the Ciaz. And Honda suddenly had a lot of competition in this same segment, where all these car manufacturers were catering to the same audience. And so what happened is Honda's market share kept on decreasing, while at the same time Verna's increasing, to a point where competition was neck to neck, and Honda needed something to differentiate themselves. And that's kind of where we are today, where the Honda City is inching a little towards more of that enthusiast side or fun to drive nature, while at the same time keeping its appeal with the families and people who like a comfortable driving car in the city. Now, largely the new Honda City is still focused towards being a more family friendly and comfortable car, where you now have these very nice looking interiors which are a big upgrade from the previous generation car. You now get this very nice dual tone finish, where you also have a lot of leatherette materials around where you're sitting. There are still a lot of plastic bits, like for example on the dashboard. Good part about the front driver cockpit is that there is a lot of storage space over here, where you've got places to keep your wallet, you've got 2 places for cup holders, then you've got a little bit of a slot right next to your handbrake as well. The side door pockets are fairly huge, where you can easily fit big bottles. And also, one of the big complaints with the last generation City was that the air conditioning vents were not tactile, they were touch sensitive and very difficult to use. Over here what they've done is they've completely changed that. They have sort of reverted back to a normal dial, which in my opinion is way more tactile, it's way more easy to use, and it actually gives a lot of feedback while driving. So it's really good. And I think in general, because of this two-tone interior layout and slightly more premium materials that are used, it kind of gives you a much more upmarket feel than what it used to give you before. And Honda has also done something that a lot of Japanese and Korean car makers don't, which is give all 4 power windows a single touch up and down. Most of the Korean car brands as well as Japanese car brands will only give you a single up and down touch for the driver's seat, or maximum the passenger seat. But in the Honda City, just like European cars, all 4 window switches are actuated by a single touch for both up as well as down. Also, one more big upgrade with the new City are these seats. They are now way more cushiony, they are way more comfortable, and I think that is also one of the reasons that contributes to the comfortable ride quality in this car. Like day before yesterday, I actually did a little over 600 kilometers in this car in a single go in one day. And I was actually quite surprised by how comfortable I was when I got back home in the evening. And a lot of that has to do with the quality of these seats, and of course the suspensions as well, which we are going to talk about later. But there are a few weird bits over here on the inside as well. For example, the switch to adjust the display brightness for your digital console is right bang in the center over here, and it's a huge chunky knob. I don't know why that is given like that. That could have been probably placed somewhere a little bit more insignificant. It's right in the middle of the dashboard, where that position could be used for probably something better. Then this armrest which doesn't extend out. The armrest has a lot of space underneath it, that's for sure, but it doesn't extend out, and it's kind of a little recessed back, at least for my liking, where it's a little difficult to reach the gear shift lever at the same time keep your arms rested. And speaking of this digital driver's display, it's actually quite good, where they have made a hybrid display where the left side is digital, the tachometer part is digital, and the speedometer part is still manual. It's got a proper old school needle, but at the same time there are a couple of functions in there as well where you can switch between different settings, and one of them is a G meter, which I find quite useless in a Honda City, a car which is more for people being carried comfortably in the city, more of a commuter car. That G meter doesn't make sense. You know what, if I was on the design team, I would have saved up on the cost of that G meter and instead invested money in automatic wipers, which this car misses out. And me being a person who has a car that has an automatic wiper system, I sorely miss that feature, because in my car I don't have to think about when I have to turn the wipers on, they automatically go on. In this, every time I have to keep playing with it, increase or decrease the speed, turn it on, turn it off, and it's kind of distracting, is what I have understood after all these years of using a car which has the automatic wiper feature. It's kind of distracting, and it would have been a better investment in terms of offering features than that G meter, because I'm sure that G meter also requires sensors to understand the lateral forces that are coming on the car, and instead remove that sensor and give a sensor over here which allows the car to sense whenever there's water falling and immediately starts the wiper. But as I was saying before, with this 5th generation City, what Honda has tried doing is create a much more balancing act, where apart from the family oriented features, this car also has a very solid engine. First of all, it's a naturally aspirated 1.5 liter unit, which is in itself quite rare to find nowadays. In all the cars which have mostly gone with a turbocharger, this still carries natural aspiration. And along with that, this has to be by far the most refined petrol engine that I have driven in a long time. The engine is absolutely silent even when your car is on idle, and when you're driving on the highway on normal highway speeds, doing let's say 60 to 80 or whatever, when you are within the speed limit of the highways, the engine is absolutely inaudible. It's just so silent, it's so refined, but at the same time the power is delivered in a way where it's very smooth, very comfortable. At the same time, there is enough power to actually push you fast enough where you don't even realize when you've hit 80 kilometers per hour. And if you keep your throttle pedal pressed, the car is easily going to go cross 120, 130, 140 and easily go all the way up till about 160, 170 before you find any sort of resistance from that engine. I think it's a great engine. And you know what else is good are the suspensions on this car, because that suspension system combined with that engine means that you can carry good amount of speed, at the same time not be bothered so much about potholes and bad road conditions. So the suspension in this car is set up in such a way where they're not overly soft, but at the same time they're not overly stiff as well. What that means is when you have bad and broken patches of road, the suspensions are pliant enough that they carry themselves over most of that patches without you putting in that effort of slowing down or swerving around those bad roads. You can just float and fly over most of them. At the same time, they're not so soft that when you're doing high speeds, the car feels unstable. Like even on speeds which are slightly higher than the speeds which are acceptable on the highways, the car feels absolutely rock solid. There is no bouncing around, which was one of the biggest problems with the older Honda City, where the suspensions used to bounce a lot when you were doing highway speeds. Here they've solved that issue completely. That said though, the one place where I find the driving experience to be a little less engaging is the steering wheel. Now don't get me wrong, the steering wheel on the new City is quite accurate. It's not like you can't position the car exactly where you want, but it's a little too light for my liking at least. In the city, that's a great thing because it makes maneuvering through traffic very easy, but out on the highway, it kind of gives you a jittery feel. It's still not deal breaking. I mean, it still keeps your confidence levels high when you're on the highway doing straight line, but it's where you are in the corners where it slightly feels a little too light to actually place the car properly and have a little bit of fun with it. It needs a little bit more weight when you're gaining speed or when you're going through corners, and that kind of dulls down your overall driving experience with this car. And talking about speed, I think Honda is a little lenient on you when it comes to speeding, because at 80 kilometers what beep you hear is so mild. It's more like the sound that you hear when the seatbelt sign goes off in an airplane. It's just very mild. And when you cross 120, that same sound is just multiplied a couple of times, and it's very mild. It's like Honda giving you a gentle reminder not to go fast rather than enforcing it down in you. So it's more like them saying, please don't go fast, rather than, hey, you're going too fast, slow down. It's a little bit more lenient. But however good the suspensions are on highways and on city roads, there's obviously going to be a little bit of compromise, and the compromise over here comes when you're trying to take corners fast, because that's where the suspensions do buckle in and you feel a lot of body roll from the car. And that sort of dampens your experience a little bit when you're trying to be very enthusiastic and try to go fast into corners. That being said, for most of the scenarios like city driving and highway driving, where you're going to spend 90 to 95% of your driving time, the suspensions are excellent and they give you exactly what you want from those situations. Now, between that smooth and rev happy engine and the way the suspensions let that power down on the road, you have another component, and that is the CVT gearbox. Now, I have to say, this CVT gearbox is a marked improvement over the previous variations, where you don't have that rubber band effect at all. At the same time, the gearbox is very responsive to your throttle inputs. The only one thing that I found weird about this gearbox is that in most cases, wherever you build revs to either accelerate or go a little faster, obviously the gearbox will kick down the gears and increase the revs. But in most other cars, in most other gearboxes, what I've noticed is if you keep your foot steady, it will build those revs, it will give you that initial burst of acceleration, and then it will quickly shift to higher gears to give you a more smoother rev range throughout the engine. That's not the case over here. The revs build up and they just keep staying over there. And because of that, what happens is when you accelerate and keep your throttle steady, the city just goes throughout that rev range and just keeps going like that till the time it builds up so much of speed that you're doing some illegal numbers. And the only way to let go is lift off the throttle so that the revs can be dropped again and the gearbox shifts to higher gears. It's kind of weird, and I've never experienced something like this before in any other car. One annoying thing about the new City is that infotainment system. Now, while the system is quite responsive and the buttons are small but tactile, but the good things about it end there. During my full day of driving, the CarPlay connection crashed several times. There were times where I couldn't clearly see the screen under direct sunlight because it was too dim, and sometimes it just refused to give me Bluetooth connectivity options until I had to stop, restart the car completely for the infotainment system to reboot. And when it comes to a family-friendly car, the new City adds one more thing which is really good for family buyers, and that is this rear seat. Back here, things are really comfortable, again because of the new cushiony seats. On top of that, you get huge amounts of legroom. Currently, the seat ahead is at 5'8", which is my height. At the same time, I still have enough legroom back over here. I've got enough headroom to be comfortable, not for small distances, but even long journeys. On top of that, the Honda City's air conditioning vents are kind of facing upwards, which means the air blows directly at your face and not on your knees like in some other cars. You also get two power outlets back over here, and overall back here it feels very roomy and it feels like you can easily do long distances. But here's the thing, I believe that no car has been built perfect and there are always going to be some niggles, especially when you're trying to fit the car in a specific budget. In here, the CVT gearbox is a slight bit of an off, the steering wheel is a little too light, and the touchscreen unit is a little too slow and dim. But that said, when you actually come to driving this car, the experience you get from behind the wheel is absolutely incredible, to a point where you actually forget and forgive about all these things. The driving experience is so good in the city, it's so effortless. The gearbox doesn't even let you feel gear shifts at all. When you're out on the highway, the suspensions are so beautifully set up that you get good high-speed stability. At the same time, you don't have to dodge potholes and broken patches of road. And on top of that, the combination of the suspensions and these cozy, comfortable seats ensured that yesterday when I was driving above 600 kilometers in a single day, I didn't feel tired when I came back home in the evening. Because believe me, if a car is uncomfortable, it is going to let you know when you're especially driving such long distances. It's going to be irritating, the journey starts feeling unwanted and stressed out. The new Honda City isn't that. It's got a great refined engine matched with a very comfortable ride quality for 95% of the situation. Before going, I have to say this again, this engine felt like the highlighting factor for me in the Honda City. It's rev happy, it's silent, it's very refined, at the same time it's got enough punch to actually get you up to speeds really quickly. That engine is the heart and soul of the new City. In my case, it was mated with a 7-speed CVT, but if you choose the manual, I guess it's going to be even more engaging. That said, you have to give up a little bit on the overall usability and ease of use of the gearbox, at the same time going for more fun and enthusiasm. But in both cases, that engine is still going to be remaining the champion in this car. Well, what do you think of the new Honda City? Let me know down in the comment section below, and please subscribe to my channel to see more car content and videos like this. I hope you liked this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'm going to catch you in the next one. Till then, ciao.